Thanks everyone for coming along today. Now we've got through the formal business, I'm going to give a more technical presentation on the projects and what we've been up to and what we think we've got ahead of us this year. That first photo there is a picture of Gidgee, where obviously most of the focus is at the moment. Competent person statement. Obviously I'm just going to summarise a lot of information in this presentation. So it's taken from ASX announcements that have already been released and that. So please, if you've got questions, go to our website, ask us questions today and look at the various ASX announcements. So in summary, we think we're in a really good position. We've got WA focus, we've got a number of gold and critical minerals projects in the Eastern Goldfields and the Gascoynes. The key focus is obviously on our Gidgee project. We think there's potential there for a whole new gold camp with multiple deposits. We've just done an RC program that just finished a few days ago and we're starting to get results there. But in addition, we've got a whole heap of other projects out, mostly up in the Gascoyne that I'll talk about, and each of those has got potential for a significant discovery as well. Our board management team have got a track record of having made discoveries, bringing things into production and operating mines, so that's quite unusual for a small company, and I think we've got unmatched share price upside in case we make a discovery. So just in summary, as I said, we've got two sort of main groups of projects. We've got our Eastern Goldfield stuff, and that's obviously the right place at the right time at the moment. Most of the focus is on Gidgee. Our Randalls project, we've actually got a sale process going on at the moment. So a company has basically got an option to purchase that, and that deal should finalise probably in March, April. Obviously most of the focus at Gidgee, so I'll spend time talking about that. But then we've got our other projects up in the Gascoyne as well, and each of those is quite different, but they've all got potential for a significant discovery. This is why we're here. Sure, you've seen that chart on the right several times. The best way to make money quickly is by making a discovery. So that's what we're here to do. We want to make a discovery on one or more of our projects and create shareholder value quickly by doing that. The strategies get underexplored projects in world-class or potentially world-class provinces, recognise similarities with known deposits, be really systematic with that exploration, but then also you've got to know when to walk away from projects as well, so have clear milestones. And this is pretty exciting, seeing that gold price triple since the IPO. So to put some of the things I'm going to say next in context, most of the work that we did at Gidgee after listing was down here, and really no one was interested in gold, and suddenly everyone wants gold. Just a reminder who the board are. Jono's the only one that's not here today. He's in Sydney. You got Mari and myself, Terry and Mindy. So Gidgee. Why do we like Gidgee? It's in a fantastic location. We keep saying it's the cheapest house on the best street. It's 15 kilometres north of Kalgoorlie, in the heart of the Eastern Goldfields. It's within this major structure, the Barara Shear Zone, which starts down at Golden Ridge, goes through Barara, does this big jog where we are, and then ends up at Paddington, and then keeps going north where it becomes the Bardock Tectonic Zone. It's underexplored because of the transported cover in the Gidgee Paleo Channel, which I'll talk a bit more about. But it's in a great location because basically whatever we find, there's mills everywhere all around us, all different size mills. So if we make a discovery, if it's a small one, you could take it down to Lakewood. If it's a big one, you could maybe do something with Paddington or Kanowna Belle. So that's why we like it, and we still think there's a lot of potential here, and that's why we say it's the cheapest house in the best street. A bit more detail. We've got 15 kilometres of really prospective geology there, cut by the Gidgee Paleo Channel. We've made a number of discoveries already under the Paleo Channel there, Marlebone, Blackfriars Highway and Railway, and there's a whole heap of other targets as well that we really haven't got to yet. One to note is this 8 Mile area down to the south. Northern Star have been sort of off and on there the last few years. We're hearing rumours that they're going to come back and do some more drilling. The frustrating thing for us is that when they drill there, they don't put any results out. So we sort of don't know what they're hitting. This is a little bit more technical. This is why we really like Gidgee, and this is sort of the first time I've sort of put this slide together. It's got many similarities to the Kalgoorlie Golden Mile. So here's Kalgoorlie, Mount Charlotte, and the super pit down the bottom there produced over 60 million ounces over 120 years. We've got the same geology as the Golden Mile. And just to show you a sort of cross section, here's the Golden Mile here, and that green geology's been folded under, and this is where we are here at Gidgee. So we've got the geology as Golden Mile, just sitting under the black flag beds. The Kalgoorlie deposits are in this, what they call the Golden Mile dolerite, and we're seeing potentially similar units up at Gidgee. There's a major structural event that caused this big fold here at the Golden Mile, and we got the same thing here in what we call the jog in the Barara Shear Zone. And there's a major unconformity, this dotted line here, between the upper black flags and the lower black flags, and there's only two other places you see it. One is at Kanowna Belle, and the other one's at Binduli over here, and both of those are major gold deposits. And finally, Mount Charlotte sits between these two north-south structures here, and the Gidgee Paleo Channel follows two north-south structures here, and that's where all our four main prospects are today. So there's a lot of similarities between the geology and the structure between Gidgee and the Golden Mile, and that's really exciting for us that we're in that position. So we think there's huge potential here. So to sort of step back, this is what we started with back in 2020 when we did our IPO. There was a bit of historical drilling, there was a little bit of smoke in a couple of holes, but wide spaced, a lot of shallow drilling, not really much to go on. So over the next sort of 2 or 3 years, we did quite a lot of air core drilling, and you can see all the reds and purples there, they're all +1, 2, +5 gram hits. That background image is the Gidgee Paleo Channel. So we're doing two things. We were working out where the gold was, but then the air core drilling actually allowed us to map out the Paleo Channel, and these contours are 10 metres. So the bottom of that Paleo Channel in here is about 60 metres. So there was a bit of concern whether the gold we're seeing was in the Paleo Channel or it's in the bedrock. You can see that the four main targets all cut across the Paleo Channel, so that tells you that it's probably bedrock mineralisation, not something in the channel. And in the last year or so, we've applied some geophysics to it. This is the SAM image. So SAM is a combination of magnetics and electromagnetics, and you can see that these targets here show up very well in the SAM image. So that's telling you that these are bedrock features underneath the Paleo Channel. It's not related to the Paleo Channel. So we were able to outline a number of bedrock targets beneath the Paleo Channel that we're now focused on. So this morning we announced the first few results from an RC program that we've just done. We're looking at two things. We're looking at underneath air core hits at Highway and Blackfriars, which is the two targets that straddle the highway, and the other thing we're doing is looking to see whether there's potential for shallow supergene resources that potentially we could develop as well. And this hole here, hole 43, a vertical RC hole, got 3 metres at 9 grams, including 1 metre at 23, and this is a chip tray. That's the base of the Paleo Channel's in this metre here somewhere. So that intersection is sort of straddling the base of the Paleo Channel and the top of the weathered zone underneath it. So I'm pretty happy about that. And we're waiting now on a number of holes that were here, the northern end of Highway, and they're actually the best looking holes out of the whole program. So we're hoping, we've got fingers crossed to see what the results are going to be from there, and we're hoping to see those results in the next week or so. And then depending on what we get there, we'll move forward. So the next steps, wait for the final assays for the drilling. We'll plan further drilling as necessary. Some of that will be bedrock testing, hopefully. Other drilling will be more of these vertical holes, but more infilled holes. We need to do a couple of heritage surveys so we can do more drilling. An area at the jog we want to do some work on, and the work around the Gidgee roaster. And then I'm hoping that by the end of the year we're in a position to peg a mining lease application over this area, and then start working out how we're going to develop it. This is just showing you, this is the highway prospect. We're looking south on the Goldfields Highway. You can see the waste dumps of the super pit in the background, and we're literally drilling right next to the highway. I think this picture here, the rig's about here somewhere. So in my previous life I moved a highway. It looks like we might have to do it again. And then the other stuff is the Gascoyne stuff, our critical minerals projects. This is a big area. This is what's called the Capricorn Origin. It sits between the Yilgarn down here and the Pilbara, and it's a belt of rocks that formed during the Proterozoic, and there's a whole heap of different rock types here. But it's really, the point is this is a really big area. It's about 400 or 500 kilometres from there to there, from sort of Onslow up here to Newman, and there's potential for all different deposit types. So we've got a few different projects here. We sort of look at them as like tickets in the lottery. We don't spend a lot of time or energy on them at the moment, but each of them are a completely different deposit style, which is really interesting as well. So we've got whale shark up here at Onslow, underneath the shallow basin. We've got chain pool, sitting on the edge of the Edmund Basin here. That's really interesting. We've got our Norilsk style nickel copper PGE projects at Bangamore. One shown not on here is we've got a coastal heavy mineral project near Carnarvon, and then we've just done a deal on this Ashburton area. I'll talk a bit more about each of these, but we view these as sort of tickets in the lottery. We've picked them up cheaply. Every one of these projects, apart from the Ashburton project, we've pegged ourselves. So we didn't buy it off anyone. We generated the idea and then pegged it ourselves. And we just see that these are good sort of strategic projects. So this is Whale Shark near Onslow. There's image there. You can see how flat it is. That's actually the ocean in the background. It's a big folded biff under about 100 metres of cover. We've discovered IOCG style anomalism. We've hit copper sulfides there. We haven't done much work over the last couple of years, but what we did do is remodel the magnetic data and come up with some really nice magnetic gravity targets, which is like classic IOCG. All of these are quite shallow, so we're looking at whether we can go out and just test these with air core drilling, and maybe get a hit or two. Chain pool. This is our project up in the edge of the Edmund Basin. What we're looking for here is what they call a SEDEX deposit. So you basically have a sedimentary basin with a fault, fluids come up and they produce copper, lead, zinc, silver. So Joy Helen, we've got these historic workings. We've got some really good rock chips here, up to like 7% copper, 54% lead, 73 grams silver, which at today's prices is worth just over a gram gold. We did some soil sampling and we've come up with this classic SEDEX style alteration, and we think what's happening here is we're maybe sitting up in here and it's been folded, and that's why you're getting a couple of trends. And if we got that, the next thing is to see if we've got this as well. And these deposits can be really huge, so that's pretty exciting, and it's really the only thing like it in the area. It's sort of similar to Abra but different. This is Bangamore. This is our nickel project. We're looking for big Norilsk style nickel copper PGE deposits. We've proved the concept now. We've proved we've got the right rocks, and we've got disseminated nickel and copper sulfides here. We flew a big EM survey that was EIS co-funded over this area, and we've got a whole heap of EM targets now. We want to get out on the ground and see what that looks like. So that'll happen in the middle of the year when it cools down a bit up there. The last one of our projects is our Carnarvon Sands project. So here's the coastline north of Carnarvon. You've got the Gascoyne River coming down. The Gascoyne River catchment contains a lot of hard rock rare earth deposits, so things like Yangibana and Yin. And basically what's happening is the heavy minerals and the rare earths are getting washed down into the ocean and pushed back onto the land, exactly like you see down at Capel or Dunsborough or Eneabba. And you've got all these heavy mineral strand lines with heavy minerals up to sort of 5, 6, 10%. The only work here was done for heavy minerals, so things like ilmenite and rutile, but they did also see rare earth minerals like monazite and xenotime. So obviously with the interest in rare earths, there's potential to define a placer rare earth deposit, and these things are pretty commonly seen up and down the west coast. That's Coburn, Eneabba. I'm not sure what the name of that one is, but these are all rare earth placer deposits that form on the coastline. So again, we're in a great spot. And the last one, we just announced a deal not long ago on this option agreement over this Ashburton South area. It's a tenement application a couple of prospectors brought to us. You can see there's a whole heap of rock chips there with gold, copper and antimony. It's the same sort of geology as Mount Olympus or Paulson's. And just yesterday, actually, TechGen have got this Mount Bogler project down here. They drilled and got some nice supergene copper mineralisation related to this mag anomaly here. So it's in a good part of the world. It's a cheap entry for us to have a look at it. So we'll get up there sometime middle of the year and progress the tenement to grant. So in summary, there's a few things going on. Like I said, all that Gascoyne stuff is sort of doesn't take up much time. They're sort of tickets in the lottery. The main focus is at Gidgee. We've finished the bedrock drilling now, waiting on the rest of the results, and then we'll plan further drilling there. Bangamore, the next step is at Chain Pool. We're going to go out and do a small auger program there to see if we can see that copper, lead, zinc mineralisation at depth, and then get results from that. Middle of the year, we'll get out to Bangamore, have a look at those EM anomalies, and then maybe get to do some work as whale shark as well. So we're really excited about Gidgee, especially this last drilling campaign. And again, for the reasons I showed we're starting to, it's taken a few years, but we're starting to understand the significance of where we are compared to Kalgoorlie. It's really exciting. We just want to make sure we do it the right way and we're systematic and don't miss something, because we think it's a great opportunity. And it's an opportunity that's been missed previously by KCGM and Norton and people like that. So we want to, especially at this gold price, we want to have a really good crack at it over the next few months.